Hey, this is Daniella from Daniella.io, and last week we talked about the cost of an e-commerce website. This week we're going to be talking about the cost of an e-commerce app. So an app that you can get on your phone and that you could download from the App Store, may that be from Apple, so on iOS, or from an Android phone, so in the Google Play Store. So if you're a retail merchant, if you're an e-commerce owner, and if you would like an app made specifically for your online store, then this video is for you. So at the end of this video, you'll have a list of things that you should keep in mind to have a custom e-commerce app built. And I'm also going to provide a really cool solution that could resolve a couple issues that we're going to talk about in this video. So definitely stay tuned until the end of this video. I'm sure it's going to provide you a lot of value. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what device would you like your app to work on? Now it's an important consideration because not all developers know how to code for Android or iOS or for both. And as an e-commerce merchant, you probably want to be on both platforms. Maybe you want to specifically be on one or the other, but this is something that you need to decide before you create your e-commerce app. Another really important consideration is what features do you need? There's so many features that you can have. We're just going to cover a couple of them here, but sometimes you need something very specific and sometimes you need something that's very generic. Example, you might want to have customer profiles, a sign-in, ratings and reviews. You probably want to have analytics, so be able to track your sales. You might have marketing tools like transactional emails, push notifications that you can send to your customers. Of course, since this is an e-commerce app, you probably want to have your products listed in the app. And an important consideration for a developer is how many products do you have to show? It's not going to be the same cost probably if you have 10 products versus 10,000 or plus. Do you need a multilingual app? Does your app need to be translated into a bunch of different languages? What kind of payment processors would you like to have in your app? Would you like to be able to accept payments with PayPal, Stripe, or Square, for example, or others? And do you need support, chat, phone, email? Of course, custom development is also important, security, and API connections. Now, those last two bullet points, support and custom development, are extremely important. These are things that merchants sometimes forget when they're getting a quote for an e-commerce website or an e-commerce app. Who's going to support your product once it's created? Because there's always ongoing security that needs to be done. There's always updates that need to be carried out. And support, you're going to have questions that you're going to have to ask the company eventually throughout the long run of your app's existence. And it's important that you make sure that you have some kind of way to get in touch with that developer or that company, agency, whoever you're working with. Now, if you're wondering who could make your app, definitely check out the video above. There's a detail about who can make an e-commerce app or an e-commerce website in that video. But for now, let's just say that you need to make sure that you're going to be supported and be able to have custom development in the future, including updates and security. Now, another thing to take into consideration when you're building an e-commerce app is the UX, user experience, or the design of the app. What happens most often when you work with a company or a developer to create an app, they're going to create wireframes, so they're just drawings and outlines of the app. Then they might have user flows where they're going to show you where the user would click to end up on different pages within those wireframes. Then they might validate those wireframes and user flows with actual people. So they'd give them a test app and they would try it out and see if it fits your target audience, if it does what you want it to do, etc. And then they'll make mock-ups. So mock-ups are more real life type designs and images of your future app. Now, of course, like I talked about in the feature section, security and support is so important. How are you going to get supported? Are you going to have phone, email, or chat support with the company you're working with? When? Is it 24/7? Is it just between certain hours of the day? Who do you have access to? Development, design, marketing? Is their security updates going to be ongoing? Like, it's so important to think about that after the app is created. How are you going to continue working with the company that's going to develop that app for you? And of course, there's recurring fees that you need to take into consideration, such as hosting, yearly platform fees. To be on the App Store for iOS and in the Google Play Store for Android, you actually have to pay a yearly fee. So you're going to have to take that into consideration, including support and development, security, upgrades, and updates. Of course, there are lots of other considerations. For example, where's the company that you're working with located? Are you going to be paying a Silicon Valley development cost, or are you going to be paying an overseas cost to someone who might be located in India? The price difference is extremely steep. Of course, you might want to take currency into consideration, because if you're paying in US dollars versus rupees, the price is going to be very different depending on the currency of your own country. Make sure to have an expected project delivery date. If you're planning on having that app developed in a month or less, you're probably going to pay a premium to have your app developed in a short amount of time versus giving the company more time to develop that application. It might also cost more if you have a dedicated project manager, someone who's going to make sure that that project gets done on time. Otherwise, it's going to be yourself. You're probably going to be calling that company, asking them, where's my app? Is it done? And they're going to tell you, we're developing it. It's in the process of being created. This is common when you're working with agencies or developers. It's normal. They have a business to run too, and sometimes things are late. So make sure that you're working with a company that's going to be accountable and that's going to deliver projects on time. And then, of course, you're going to have price fluctuations depending on your specific requirements. If you want to have a forum within your app, or if you want to have a bunch of different other specific features, it's probably going to cost more. So let's just have a look at a couple estimates for a basic e-commerce app. So I actually got these estimates from existing websites. If you want to check them out, you can go and put in some information and see how much the app would cost. They just give you general ideas. So according to estimatemyapp.com, the average cost is about $43,000 for a custom e-commerce app. ExisTech, about $53,000. Business of Apps, $100K. And then appdevelopmentcost.com, I got an average of $154,000. Now I put the prices per platform, if it's both. And then, of course, ongoing support and ongoing development are extremely important to take into consideration. And some of these websites didn't take that into consideration. And it's understandable. It depends on the hourly rate of who you're working with and other specific features that you might need. So just as a general idea, an e-commerce app costs between $43,000 and $154,000 on average. Now, that might seem like a lot of money for a small, medium-sized business owner. And it's so important to have an app, especially if you own a restaurant. You want people to be able to order very easily and quickly from that app. If you're running a retail store, if you want people to be able to easily access your e-commerce from an app, there's some other solutions, and I'm going to talk to you about it right now. It's called software as a service. You've probably heard of this as a business owner, but instead of buying that application, you would kind of rent it in a certain way from a company, but the fees are divided by a bunch of different customers. So instead of paying one developer to create your app, you're paying a team of developers, and the cost is divided by all of the customers that are enjoying this service also. In most cases, you also have a team of dedicated support agents, ongoing services, and updates that are included in that application. Usually there's more security because if you buy an app one-off price, you're not going to have that ongoing security. You're going to have to pay for it every month. Whereas when you're working with a software as a service company, they're going to develop an application and they're going to support so many other companies that the high costs are actually divided by the number of customers that they have. Now, my favorite solution for this is eCommerce. They actually have an unlimited plan where you can get an e-commerce app with your e-commerce store and website. So many different features included in this plan that allow you to sell in multiple places online. There's so many features here, and I'm sure that if you had it custom developed, the costs would be crazy. Let's just talk about omni-channel e-commerce, for example. First of all, their mobile app works both on iOS and on Android. It's also connected to a whole bunch of different channels. So if you're using eCommerce as your online store, you can actually connect that store to Facebook, Instagram, Amazon, eBay, and your point of sale. And as a retailer, that's already a humongous advantage. So you'd be able to connect it to your Facebook business page, use Instagram shopping, and then synchronize your sales on multiple platforms. So if you make a sale in one place, it'll deduct from your inventory in store if you're connected to your POS. Of course, you have marketing included in there. You can run Google Ads, email automations. You can have an unlimited number of products. You have inventory tracking, discounts, multilingual, which is more expensive if you're getting it developed in a custom app. You have ongoing support, chat, email, phone, and 12 hours of custom development, security, ongoing development, and so much more. So this plan is available in Equid for $82.5 a month. It has to be paid yearly, so you have to be planned to pay that yearly. But look at how different this cost is compared to what we had before. Before we had $43,000 to $154,000. Here, yes, we're paying a monthly price, but in the end, you've paid less than $1,000 for an e-commerce app, and you have the ongoing support, development, and security that you need. I know it sounds too good to be true, but that's why I absolutely needed to make this video and share it with you today. I've been teaching Ecwid e-commerce on this channel for almost 5 years now, and I absolutely love their e-commerce solution. The only thing is it's just not very well known, and I really believe that it's an incredible way that you could sell online and have an e-commerce application for a very low cost. If you're interested in Ecwid e-commerce, definitely click on the link in the description below. That is an affiliate link, so if you do sign up and get a paid plan, I'll make a commission on that sale. And if you're interested in Ecwid, definitely hit the subscribe button. This channel is dedicated to e-commerce for small, medium-sized businesses. If you'd like to learn how to sell online quickly and easily, definitely check out the video above. I actually demonstrate Ecwid e-commerce to have an e-commerce website, but of course with the yearly unlimited plan, you can have that custom app created by Ecwid e-commerce's development team. Thanks so much for watching.